It's certainly a precarious time for the TV industry for several reasons, what with networks and streaming services alike scrambling to figure out precisely what success means in this new era of entertainment. As such, it feels like shows are greenlit and then cancelled on an algorithmic whim, with impatient executives failing to give new series a chance. This isn't helped, of course, by ongoing Hollywood strike action. In fact, 2023 has been so thoroughly littered with brutal cancellations that it's tough to keep track of them all. So, with that being said, I'm Jem from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 TV shows that just got cancelled. Number 10. Rabbit Hole. Rabbit Hole was one of the year's most pleasantly surprising TV shows, a ridiculous spy thriller series which actually leaned into its absurdity and didn't dare take itself too seriously. For 24 fans craving more gruff Kiefer Sutherland shenanigans, this 8-episode romp proved especially compelling, aided by a strong cast, namely Charles Dance as the father of Sutherland's embattled protagonist. Yet, despite solid reviews, Paramount has decided not to move forward with a second season, and while not citing a reason, the lack of online chatter about the show might suggest that it didn't post the viewing figures the network was hoping for. It truly is a shame because far from the generic, forgettable spy series it was marketed as, Rabbit Hole has charm, personality, and a real sense of humour about itself. On the plus side, its cancellation at least frees Sutherland up again to perhaps get back to 24 and finish off Jack Bauer's long-paused character arc, which he continues to be eager about resolving. Number 9. The Wonder Years. Easy though it was to roll one's eyes at the prospect of a reboot of legendary coming-of-age series The Wonder Years, this black-centric Alabama-set reimagining proved to be a surprisingly charming treat and enjoyed rave reviews from critics across its 2 seasons. Yet, despite the first season premiering to a healthy 3.23 million viewers, by the end of season 2, the linear TV ratings had collapsed to less than half that figure, so it wasn't a huge shock when ABC opted not to proceed with a third. Then again, the network didn't exactly give the show a fighting chance, debuting season 2 in the ratings graveyard of the summer, where it unsurprisingly became ABC's least watched series of the period. It also likely didn't help that more than a year passed between the 2 seasons, which might be fine for production-intensive prestige drama series, but for a more technically straightforward sitcom of all things, not a chance. Number 8. Fatal Attraction. Paramount's small-screen reboot of the Oscar-nominated 1987 erotic thriller film Fatal Attraction wasn't exactly something many were asking for, and it didn't release to stellar reviews either. Yet the compelling performances from Lizzie Kaplan and Joshua Jackson nevertheless made it watchable enough. Despite this, Paramount just cancelled the series, presumably due to low viewing figures, putting on ice a second season, which was teed up by the first season's shocking twist ending. All the same, the majority of the show's major plot threads have already been tied off neatly enough, so it's not hugely unsatisfying to see this one wrap up after just 1 volume of episodes. A one-off limited series was the right approach for the material anyway, considering its inherent limitations, and the proposed second season would have basically felt like an entirely different show by the looks of it. Number 7. Winning Time: The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. HBO's ambitious dramatization of the Los Angeles Lakers throughout the 1980s was massively hyped prior to release. And while the show was dinged by basketball historians for its loosey-goosey approach to strict facts, critics lauded its strong performances and stylish filmmaking across both seasons. Yet, on the very same day that its second season finished airing, HBO revealed that Winning Time had been cancelled. Though no official reason was cited, declining viewing figures throughout season 2 relative to its large production budget is most likely the culprit here. Given that Jeff Pearlman, the author of the book on which the show is based, expressed concern that it wouldn't be renewed for a season 3 due to the SAG-AFTRA strike preventing the cast from promoting it, it's not terribly surprising that it received the chop. Plus, with season 2 being reduced from 10 episodes to just 7 and racing through a much larger period of the Lakers' history, the writing seemed to be very much on the wall. Number 6. Heels. Michael Waldron's drama series Heels was an absolute treat for wrestling fans, an uncommonly nuanced look at the wild industry aided by strong central performances from Stephen Amell and Alexander Ludwig. Yet, Stars, which has a history of cancelling beloved cult shows like Ash vs Evil Dead and Party Down, the latter of which they at least revived earlier this year, recently confirmed that they wouldn't be producing a third season of Heels. Showrunner Mike O'Malley cited the primary reasons for the cancellation being both Star's lack of advertising muscle and the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes preventing the cast and crew from promoting the show themselves. Star Stephen Amell similarly expressed frustration with the strike, limiting his ability to plug Heels, comments for which he was criticised by many. All the same, O'Malley is actively shopping the show to other networks and insists that if there's a way, Heels will return for a third season. Here's hoping. Number 5. Mike Flanagan's Flaniverse. One of Netflix's true gemstone franchises is the Flaniverse, the collection of 5 horror series created by the brilliant Mike Flanagan. The Haunting of Hill House, The Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, The Midnight Club, and most recently, The Fall of the House of Usher. Yet, the release of Flanagan's 5th series sadly marks the end of his collaborations with Netflix and, in turn, the de facto cancellation of the Flaniverse. Rumours have swirled over the past year or so that Flanagan's relationship with the streamer has grown increasingly strained as of late, as a result of their executive meddling in his projects and especially the cancellation of the Midnight Club last year. Despite the breakup, a filmmaker as talented as Flanagan has unsurprisingly landed on his feet, having recently signed a first-look deal with Amazon. This naturally makes it incredibly likely that his upcoming projects, including Stephen King adaptations The Life of Chuck and The Dark Tower, will just release over there. It's sad to see Flanagan's astonishing array of character-driven horror stories come to an end on Netflix, but honestly, it's their loss. Number 4. The Problem with Jon Stewart. Current affairs talk show The Problem with Jon Stewart was launched by Apple with the intent for it to be a long-term production running many seasons, but its abrupt cancellation was recently announced due to ever-pesky creative differences between Stewart and Apple. Despite the 3rd season already being in pre-production, Apple reportedly canned the show after disagreeing with Stewart over potential guests and discussion topics. According to Stewart, the streamer balked at proposed episodes based on China and artificial intelligence in particular, and so rather than be restricted on subject matter, he opted to walk away. It's definitely a bad look for Apple, who have shown themselves here to be unreceptive to provocative, politically incisive content on their platform, especially from a talent as smart and entertaining as Stewart. All the same, Stewart should not struggle to find work elsewhere, namely with a streamer that's a little less thin-skinned. And if all else fails, The Daily Show is currently on search for a permanent new host. Number 3. iCarly. Of all the revivals of long-defunct TV shows, 2021's iCarly actually proved to be one of the more pleasantly surprising in recent times. By catching back up with Carly, played by Miranda Cosgrove, and her pals in a way that felt organic and honest to the original show, it avoided the pitfalls of so many other revivals, which so often lose sight of why they became popular in the first place. Yet, despite the show enjoying plenty of viral chatter online and the recent 3rd season concluding on an epic cliffhanger with the arrival of Carly and Spencer, played by Jerry Trainor's mother, Paramount recently cancelled it. Given that iCarly remains one of Nickelodeon's most watched shows ever, it can't help but seem a little short-sighted to throw it away so soon, especially not without that conclusive ending. Fans have speculated that the main cast may have been contracted up front for 3 seasons and that a 4th would have required an expensive renegotiation, which certainly sounds plausible. Number 2. The Afterparty. Okay, this one stings. The Afterparty was a terrific murder mystery comedy series from the great Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, which is noted for its mighty cast and clever nods to various film genres. But even with the recent season 2 finale teasing a 3rd season starring the likes of Elijah Wood, Gemma Chan, Keke Palmer and Jaleel White, Apple recently confirmed that it would not be returning for another batch of episodes. The show's 1st season was said to be a massive success for Apple, and while success is a nebulous word in the streaming era, it's tough to deny that a 2nd season landed with a considerably more muted wave of enthusiasm, despite still being a whole lot of fun. While the show's format of parodying a different movie genre every episode certainly has its limits, there was still plenty of mileage left for at least one more season. The ongoing strikes reportedly played a part in Apple deciding not to move forward with Season 3, though Sony Pictures Television does plan to shop it around to other platforms. So, fingers crossed. Please save us, Netflix, Amazon, anybody. And number 1, Elite. If you've scrolled past Spanish teen drama Elite series on the Netflix app, you might be surprised to learn that it's 7 seasons deep, with an 8th currently in production. Throughout its run, the shamelessly trashy dramatisation of the life and times of students at an elite prep school has won itself a loyal fan base, who, going by the show's viewing figures, made it guilty pleasure appointment viewing, no matter critics' increasing indifference to it. Yet, on the very same day that its 7th season premiered, Netflix announced that the upcoming 8th season would be Elite's last. In the very least, it sounds like the news wasn't a surprise to the show's co-creator, Carlos Montero, who previously theorised that it could run for 20 seasons, yet has promised fans that Elite will end on a high note. In this case, Netflix at least gave the show an unexpectedly enduring run before calling it, and also granted the creatives time to wrap things up. If only they afforded that luxury to, well, everything else. And that sums up our list of 10 TV shows that just got cancelled. If you can think of any more, then let us know in the comments down below, and while you're there, drop us a cheeky like, share and subscribe too. I've been Jem from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you next time.